guess we should probably just get fired off. We're gonna just see how good Nimble Mongoose is right now. He should theoretically be pretty solid. We've got a nice LD package. We're able to go wide. We have a nice hard to remove threat. And then on top of that, we get to run Huntmaster. We get to run Veil of Summer for some really high impact from the sideboard. So it gives us plenty of reason to run green. The concessions that we're making from Blue-Red Delver is we're cutting 2 basic islands. So we go down from 4 islands to have a forest and a breeding pool. Otherwise, we're still on fast lands. We're very much still a blue-red deck. We just have like green splash to give us a little bit of more of a punch as far as threat diversity goes. In blue-red, we could run Calcite Snapper to fill this kind of like shroudy niche, but I thought it would be kind of cool to run Nimble Mongoose instead, and then just kind of see how it runs. Well, he's definitely run well for me in the past, so we're just going to see if, I mean, that's just a trend that continues, I guess. So we're going to jump into a league. I switch decks. I would love to play Team Red Ever. We've even got our Peak. Veils, Huntmaster. That's a bit. Yeah, just kind of like a collection of all of the fun cards in Magic. Not all of them, obviously. We're not running Spell Stutter, which is unfortunate. But that's an issue for another time. Also, we have less of a reason to protect our threats if our threats cannot be targeted by removal, right? Right, well, let's get going. Yeah. Alright, well, Delver Bolt is pretty much a snap keep in my book. We've even got 2 lands, have all 3 colors of mana. Like, this is a keep. Sure, so let's see what they've got going on their side of the table. Or digital table, or whatever this is. It's the mirror. Okay, so they're probably on some sort of band deck, but we'll see. Soon enough. We're gonna go Steam Bend Delver, I think. We don't really know what they're on, and we don't have a counter spell for a Delver anyway, so might as well run them out. Pass it back to them. If they path him, we're actually in very good shape, because then we could start, like, snap Serum Visions, and then just kind of try to get ahead of them. Which is obviously a lot worse for us. This looks like some sort of Shadow deck. If it was Shadow, they'd be running Luris, so this has to be some sort of control deck. And even then, if it's a control deck, I'd also be running Luris. So I guess they must be on Shadow with Angler over Luris, which seems like a poor decision. Well, we can go to 14 here. Seems fine, honestly. Or we could just pass with Thought Scour Bolt up, and then get a breeding pool at the end of their turn. I kind of want to just go through my entire deck. Just take a turn off for cantripping. We don't have counterspell. Let's take a look. So let's get breeding pool untapped. And I think we're just going to Thought Scour ourselves. Keeping the green up in case we try Nibble Mongoose. No, we did find a mana leak. Okay, so we do have Threshold enabled for next turn. Not that we're attacking with the Mongoose next turn, but you know, just food for thought. Okay, I don't really want third Snapcaster, but I'll take third land. We'll pass it back to our opponent. We got Spell Snare and Mana Leak, so this next turn we should be in very, very good shape. Okay, so they've got Tarn. So whether or not they shock this gives us a lot of information. I still feel like yeah, okay, so they're on a snow deck. That makes a lot more sense. So I'm guessing we're playing around like blue-black Urza, which could mean a great many things, honestly. We'll see. So we're definitely just playing this Snap Grixis. Gotcha. Okay, so they're passing. I feel like this isn't a control deck. Because if it's a control deck, they'd just run Lurrus in the sideboard because they only have Snapcaster. Or I guess, no, they'd have Planeswalkers, right? Yeah, so this has to be a control deck. It might be a Urza deck, I don't know. We're just going to pass with mana up. We can Snap Scour ourselves at the end of their turn. Just get like a bit of a card advantage, get a threat in play. It should be a good combination. Nimble Obstructionist. Very curious. I think we're going to let this resolve, and then we're just going to bolt it. Oh, we don't have a stop on our end step. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's actually really rough. Oh, Magic Online. So they're playing some sort of tempo deck, I suppose? They probably won't counter this. If they fetch Shock Cryptic, then we get to blow them out with this Mana Leak. They're already pretty low. Sure, so we'll just go to our turn. Pass it back to them. If they have another one... Well, I mean, that's just an issue for when they have it, right? We'll just set the stop on our end step then, though. No second Obstructionist. Okay, so we're doing really good on resources here. We have another card over them. They've got lands, but... I mean... Yeah. We could also just go on the aggro plan and Snap Bolt them. Because they're almost dead to our hand of burn spells. And by almost dead, I mean we have 12 points to burn. So I think I kind of like that since we have so many resources. So I think we're gonna Snapcaster Mage, and he might just eat a counter too. It looks like they have no counter spell. Yeah, I think we're gonna get aggressive here. Generally, aggressive is a good place to be. So they're looking at our graveyard. If they have main deck Surgical, we kind of just lose on the spot, though. Okay, so now we get to bolt them. I wonder what they're waiting for. Because they just kind of like let the Snapcaster resolve. Maybe they're just curious, like, why we're bolting them. Like, I guess this is definitely a telling of what we have. They could also try to resolve some sort of large instant, like Fact or Fiction right now, I guess. Drown in the Lock. Huh. I really would have preferred to drown the Snapcaster, but that's fine. Like, drown it on the stack, obviously, right? Okay, this means that we probably don't have to fight against too much graveyard hate. No, Mongoose seems stellar against this deck. I don't know what they're playing, but it seems really good against it. So we get to hit them for 2. We'll probably just play the Mongoose and pass the turn. Yeah, this is probably just game over. Like, sure, we have exactly 7 cards, but we can go up to 9 cards really easily, right? So, like, their end step, we just hit them with 2 bolts, and then untap, kill them. Like, very dead. Yeah, holy tamale. Nimble Mongoose is just so good. Because, like, even if they do have the push, which they might, I don't know. Again, not drowning the Snapcaster body is very, very odd. I think they just F6 through their turn. I think that's what happened there. And they're just kind of like slapping themselves for it. Like, it happens. Like, whenever I play my first game of the day, it's generally just pretty rough. Okay, so they're thought scouring themselves. Okay, makes sense. So they're on bolts, obstruction. Obstructionist is a very interesting choice. Like, I'm trying to figure out what they're playing. Okay, well, we're going to see if we can get a response from this bolt or the next one. Again, I don't think there's really... Like, there are obviously board wipes like Consume the Meek that can hit us at instant speed here, but I'm fine tapping down for bolts. Like, this gives them more information, but we get to untap with all of our counter magic. And then probably kill them. Like, we'll see. Obviously, they can still have things, right? Like, Nimble Obstructionist block Nimble Mongoose is definitely a play they have, right? It's just we win that, like, mana-wise, really hard. Okay, so we're gonna go to combat. Let's see what they have. Sure, that's fine. Okay, so Veil of Summer seems nuts here. Huntmaster seems very good. Dispute seems very good. Cage is probably not good enough. Okay, so what plans seem bad? Okay, well, Burst Lightning seems medium at best. Okay, so let's put the cards that we want in over here. Yeah, I don't think land destruction is going to work against them. They've just got too many lands. They might have tar pits, but until we see them, I don't think we're going to play around it. We could always just bolt their tar pits too. Spell Snare and Pierce are both probably good enough here, which is an unusual occurrence, to say the least. So I guess the question is, what is just not quite there? I think the answer is probably Peak is just a little do nothing. We just want to have more action, right? We could also trim a Scour because they're very intense on like beating the shit out of us, or like making us spend a lot of resources. They might be on Thoughtseize and stuff. So I could see an argument for cutting a Scour instead of the Peak. But I think we're just going to cut the Peak here. Just play it safe. We'll run it like that. So, like, sure, Huntmaster loses us a bit. Okay, so we don't have mana for Mongoose or Veil. But this hand is so good. We can't just pass this up. Okay, we'll keep. Okay, we'll see what they're playing. Turn 1. Again, this is definitely like an Inquisition or something. No. Okay, this looks like a lightning bolt then, right? Because they don't have black instants that they're playing, right? Like, were they on Shadow this entire time? Because that did not look like they were trying to open with a Death Shadow plan, right? So I'm actually inclined to just go Canal Pass here. We'll hold up Dispute, Pierce, and Bolt. And the next turn we could play Delver with Pierce backup. Seems a lot better. Yeah, so like this is either holding up Push or Bolt, and that means that they don't have a fetch land in hand. Because if they had a fetch, they would have led on the fetch, and then fetched end of turn, right? Okay, so they don't have a second land, so I think their plan was kill our threat and then hope that we would just kind of like spin our wheels until they get back into the game, right? So I think here we just go Delver Pass. They 100% have the Bolter push, right? Like that's 100% the read, and I think that read is completely correct. So like they're going to fire off the push here, Bolt, sure, whatever. We'll pierce this one. If they have another one, that's fine. I'm obviously not terribly excited about it, but I don't know. These are things that we just kind of have to accept and move on with, right? If they have land, sure, okay, so they have the Bolt, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so we have Serum Visions. Mongoose. Okay, the fact that we drew a Mongoose after having a Veil of Summer in our hand means that we have to bottom both of these. We just need to find our green mana. I'll pass. We can just hold up Dispute for 3 mana soon as well. So it's probably going to happen. Okay, I'm very curious as to what threats they're playing. They could be on a Pyromancer deck. Nimble Obstructionist. Is this guy known for anything? Wagner MTG. Probably not. I mean, I don't mean to do him like that, but you know, it's just kind of how it is, right? Ooh, this could be a Brineborn Cutthroat deck, right? Well, if it's Brineborn Cutthroat, then we could just dispute anyways, so let's Serum Visions. Well, let's just bottom both then. Yeah. Pass it back to them. If they have a Cutthroat, we'll bolt it. We won't dispute it. We will bolt it. So they're on Snow-Covered Mountain as well. So that means that they're probably running like 22 lands minimum. Again, this is probably a Cutthroat deck. I feel like that's got to be the most accurate depiction of their threat base. Cutthroat Obstructionist. Okay, so we found our land. They have 6 cards. So what happens if they have... well, they probably don't have double counter, right? So we just fetch shock Mongoose here. And nothing can really go wrong? Question mark. Yeah, I don't see anything going wrong. Oh my god, this deck feels really solid. Obviously, we could be running a little bit more green mana, like maybe 1 Botanical Sanctum would be alright. Okay, yeah, let's run this guy up. We could pass it back to them. Okay. So I think they're just debating whether or not they want to counter this or then drown in the lock. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, we're gonna pass. Again, we really want to be bolting their creatures and then disputing the everything else. So they probably have Obstructionist here, in which case we're going to set a stop on our turn. Because as we learned, if we don't set a stop on our turn, and we let the Obstructionist resolve, we don't get priority. Which is kind of dumb that that's how it works. But, hey, I mean, we live and we learn, right? It's the Snapcaster. So if this is Snap, Scour... Yeah, so I think we let Snapcaster resolve here, because they're not Snap Scouring, right? What are they trying to do? Snap Bolt us is fine, we'll bolt the Snapcaster, so let's stop on my turn. So this resolves. They target Bolt. They can't bolt Mongoose. Mongoose has Shroud. So we let Snapcaster trigger resolve. We bolt their Snapcaster. Okay, then we get to go to their turn. So, like, it's fine if they throw a bolt at us, right? We're at 14, we don't care, right? Like, I think the play is definitely Snap Scour, right? I don't know why. Because bolting us is fine, right? We bolted them a lot last game, but we also drew a lot of our lightning bolts too, right? And we just decided to turn them into a lightning rod because we just had enough burn, right? So now they thought scour them. Yes. It's fine. Okay, so they are on tar pit, so we might bring some number of boom busts if this goes to game 3. We have 6 cards in our yard, very important. We do want to be casting at least one of these spells. And then we'll have 2 3/3s with Shroud. Oh. Castigar. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty freaking good. Sure, so Castigar's fine. I think what we're going to do is we might actually trade off 2 cards for this Tassigar, but I'm unsure. As in, like, attack with the Mongoose and then bolt the Tassigar. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, we were 1 mana off hard casting our Dispute. Okay, I think it's worth it to trade 2 cards for this Tassigar. Because they're stuck on lands, right? And then we really just need to close this game out. Yeah, I think we're going to do it. We also have this Veil of Summer to regain cards at some point. Okay, and then if they take this, then we get to Thought Scour. But I think they're fine with 2 for 1. This is good for them, but it's also kind of necessary for us. So we'll bolt their Tassigar. Sure. What? Wait, they took it. What? Wait, now I'm actually really confused. Oh, he stopped blocking. That's dumb. Okay, now I feel kind of like an idiot, but I didn't see him stop blocking. Let's just go Nimble Mongoose, pass here. Oh, that's so unfortunate for us. Oh wow, holy shit. Then that bolt could have threatened their face too. Yikes. Okay, well let's see what they have. Wow, that was not clear at all. I could have sworn the Tasker was still blocking. He just kind of like ninja stopped as I threw the bolt at him. Oh, okay, this is actually really good for us. We want them to attack us, right? Like, I'll go to 10. Yeah. Yeah. Scour me. So this kind of suggests that they have cryptic commands, but if they have cryptic commands, our Veil of Summer Dispute hand looks... So we'll go to our turn, draw for turn. Wow, that's a top deck and a half. So again, that bolt before kind of suggests that they have more bolts, so we're actually dead to 2 lightning bolts here, right? Because they swing and then bolt us twice. So we'll just have a chump blocker. We're going to play around double bolt here, even if it seems unintuitive. Because I think that's what they have. We will play around what we think they have. We're going to assume our opponent is a talented Magic player. Okay, they don't have double red, so I guess they don't have 2 bolts? I don't know what our opponent's doing. My opponent is confusing me just as much as he's confusing you guys. So, tap, draw. That Veil is not going to stop that, but Dispute will. Okay, so now we get to put them to 6. Okay, now I don't think I'm going to play around it, but I don't think it matters, because now they block 1 Mongoose, and then the other 2 kill him, right? So if he has untapped Red Source and or an Arkham's Astrolabe, then he can cast both of his Lightning Bolts, but otherwise he just doesn't have the mana configuration for it, right? Okay. Well, let's see. They're probably not attacking here. Perfect. Okay, so let's go to our turn. So this also means they don't have Cryptic, most likely. So let's go to combat. So they probably have... Okay, they were letting us attack. Interesting. Well, let's see what they have. Again, actually having this lightning bolt here would be really big, but we didn't notice that they did that one thing. So this is Snapcaster Mage, Chomp, Destructionist. Sure, so now they get the trade Chomp, go to 3, and now we're actually kind of in a pickle. Huh. Sure, so they go to 3 here. But we do trade 1-for-1 with the Obstructionist, so it's not completely game over. There we go. It's possible we could cycle the Obstructionist there, try to find another threat, but they can't attack us because they need this guy in defense for our 3-3 Shroud. They're at 3. It hit the Mongoose is a 1-turn clock here. Okay, so they target themselves. They target us, we actually get to fizzle it, and then draw a card. Which is kind of cool. Okay, so they're going to hit us for 4. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So this probably means they have Snapcaster, and they don't have Cryptic mana. Maybe they have another Obstructionist? So So we'll take 4 here, we'll go to 6. Okay, so if we find a... Do we cycle the Veil of Summer here? Probably, actually. Let's cycle it. They cast a Thought Scour this turn. Perfect. Yeah, we were looking for this, Snapcaster Mage, or the Huntmaster of the Fells, or the 4th Nimble Mongoose. Or pretty much anything, so I think it's definitely worth cycling it. So we'll go to combat. So they probably have an Obstructionist here, but we have to just kind of go for the swing and then try to bolt them. So they have Snapcaster. Sure. They're going to target Scour? Bolt? Probably Bolt here. Yeah. We'll just see if they have the Force of Negation and or the Drown on the Lock. They have a lot of stuff here that... I guess we wait to our end step. Yeah, we didn't play Drown on the Lock here. That's a punt. Okay, and we just win. Perfect. Oh, Okay, let's queue up for another match. And we shall join the match. Ooh, and we won the die roll. Sign me up. Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to cast a young Pyromancer yet, but that's alright. Delver Leak. I mean, I'm keeping it. And we even have green mana too. So yeah, only green spell in our main deck is a playset of Nimble Mongoose. Then our sideboard mostly costs 1 mana, but we've got a Disdainful Stroke and 2 Huntmasters. Okay, so they're down to 6. That's actually really unfortunate for them. We'll just go Canal, pass. Canal Delver pass, right? We'll see. We might be holding up Mana Leak. We're probably just Delver and then peek at their end step. But we'll see. We'll see. We don't know. Okay, so I think this is Lurrus Burn. Which means we might want to hold up Mana Leak for Eidolon, but at the same time I think we just jam Delver, Peak, and then we hold up Mana Leak for Lurrus. And or Porous Charm or whatever, right? So we don't have any removal, which is really rough for us, actually. So they hit us for 1. Sure, whatever. We're going to try to race the burn deck. Race, and then we just, like, hit their burn spells with our counter spells, right? We just trade those. It's surprisingly a pretty decent strategy. But this means we're also probably not going to be too aggressive or too cavalier with our life total, right? This might be a tapped breeding pool in our future. Flip for me, Delver. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay, so do we play Delver here? The answer is probably yes. I think we play Delver. The question is, do we play an untapped Steam Vents to hold up peak? I think the answer is yes, especially if they have an idol on here, right? We just want to get our spells out of our hand. We need to get cards into our yard. Yeah, let's just pass. Okay, so they've got... Yeah, dude, turn 2 flip does feel fucking fantastic. Sign me up. If we get a turn 3 flip here too, oh my god, we're cooking with fire. Okay, this might just be an Eidolon. We'll just peek in response. If we're feeling cute, we might blow out their Sacred Foundry. Bolt. Huh. Is that a Bisclick? I guess they have 2 bolts. What? What's our opponent doing? I guess they're really concerned because they can't race us for some reason. They must have the second removal spell, right? Right. If I was my opponent, I'd probably just go after my face, because we could be at 9 here, but instead we're going to be at, what, 14? We don't have any force negation in our deck, but I'll peek just to keep the good practice, right? Take a look at their hand, draw a card, then we could theoretically force it, right, in a different world. Wow. Okay, so most Luris Burn decks I don't think actually run Searing Blaze, but I could be mistaken. Let's actually take a look at this. Because I was under the impression that they cut Searing Blaze. Okay, that... my impression was straight up wrong, I believe. Let's just take another... That's not Luris Burn. Dude, all of these websites are just failing to... Scour, sure. It's really curious that they decided to go for Bolt instead of land Searing Blaze my Flip Delver, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense. That actually makes so little sense that I'm going to actually feel sad if our opponent wins this. It's my belief that you should not win a game that you deserve to lose. Huh. Okay, so they don't have third land yet. We could go to 11, blow up their land and kill their Swift Spear. Which seems pretty good, honestly, because then they can't cast Lurrus. Searing Blaze doesn't have any targets. They don't have the mana for Skewer or Charm. Alternatively, we could just Bolt, then Scour ourselves. Yeah, let's do that. I think this is just a little bit safer. This also lets us have green mana if we decide we want it. So we'll just pass. We'll keep Leak an option if they decide to slam an Eidolon that they top deck. But okay, so they drew and played a Rift Bolt. So this means that their entire hand is uncastable. Just fine by me. So we'll go to end step. I think we're going to get a Breeding Pool tapped here. We will probably find another fetch line for this boom bust, or we'll just trade lands. I'd much rather just have a green source in play. Okay, well now I really hope we draw a fetch land. Or a forest, yeah. Fuck the forest. Oh, no, no. Oh, shoot. Let me float a red, let me float a red. Fuck. Magic is hard. Oh, I didn't press control. Oh, I was casting this. The magic interface is just absolutely ass. There are things that you could do in paper magic that are simply unattainable here. And I would also much rather have killed the forest. I was going to kill it with the second boom bust. All upon it, you could have your turn. You know what? I didn't deserve it anyways. Oh, this screws up our tempo so much too, because we could have kept them on... Because now they can cast Skewer the Critics this turn. With their Rift Bolt, put us to 7. And then we're in Boros Charm Searing Blaze range. So we're just dead to the cards in their hand. Obviously, if we draw a creature, and then they draw a land, but we could have just prevented that from being a reality, right? And we could have just hard locked them. Or soft locked them. Yeah, dude, that's so rough. That we mishandled Magic online, and it might cost us this game. Okay, well let's try this again. And then we'll play a Nimble Mongoose. And we'll pass. I mean, this should be good enough. Like, we shouldn't lose from here, but... We almost deserved to lose after... I don't know. I'm not even sure if we deserved to lose. Like, I knew what the line was, and then I executed the line fine. I just didn't hold priority, right? I just fumbled with the client. Perfect. No lands. This is exactly what we needed. We needed them to brick once. And now we have a Scour to help propel ourselves further. Yes. Yeah. Ah, they can go ahead. They can enjoy their turn. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. Oh. So fast. Bolt me. I'm afraid I can't let you do that, opponent. I am afraid I cannot let you do that. I say we probably leak this because they're not going to be able to cast too many other 2 CMC spells, right? Mongoose can't be hit by their Searing Blaze. This is very important. If this is a Mandrills, they could Searing Blaze and then still hit us for 3. But the Searing Blaze is pretty much useless for them right now. Okay, so now we get to go to our turn. Draw. Card. Scour ourselves. Serum Visions. I'll take the land that doesn't cost me life. Then we can cast both of our spells next turn. Also, this Bolt shortens their clock by a turn, which is huge. And then if they, assuming they tap this for mana, we're in pretty good shape too. Because that also shortens their clock by a turn. And then drawing a creature is one of their better top decks, and Bolt prevents that from being atrocious for us. Okay, so now they have Boros Charm mana. If they let us untap, we're straight chilling. They should just cast it now. We know they have it. Okay, so they go to 6. They Boros Charm us. Down to 3. We untap. Mongoose kill them. Perfect. Perfect. GG. Well played. Now we have Mana Leak up in case there's any shenanigans they have, but we already know what's going on. Bam. Well played, opponent. I mean, bolting my 2 Delvers was... It's possible that was just the right judgment call, right? So Huntmaster's pretty good here. We could bring in the Loris package, but it doesn't really do a whole lot otherwise. We're just going to bring in the removal package instead. You know, I never thought I'd see the day again, and then it came upon me, and I was like, what if we just sleeved up Nibble Mongoose, because we want to have some fun. Also, the card's pretty good, too. We beat the shit out of Burn, and they had a Searing Blaze in hand, which felt amazing. It felt amazing. Yeah, Gems Magic, so we just played against Burn. They had a Searing Blaze, and they couldn't do anything against our Nibble Mongoose. And then we beat Grixis Control in 2 games, I believe. That felt really good. We've had so many fumblings with the interface today. I don't know what's up. Okay, it's possible we just have straight up way too much removal in this deck, in the sideboard. Because it's not even like I want to bring out all of the counter spells. And I mean, removal's fine in this matchup, but I don't think it's that great. I think a Braid is certainly bad. Like, I could see Spray being fine. Okay, but what is bad? I feel like we don't want to tap out for Pyromancer until like turn 4, and at that point Huntmaster's just a better threat, so I think we cut at least 2 of them. And then yeah, honestly we might just cut all of the young Pyromancers and then bring in 1 cage for Luris shenanigans. That seems fine. I just don't want to play Young Pyromancer against the Searing Blaze deck. That could be wrong. No, this is essentially just blue-red, and I'm just running 2 lands for Nimble Mongoose. It is bold. It's a statement and a half. This is just one of my favorite builds of Delver. Because it's definitely not blue-green slanted. We're running 4 Spire Bluff Canals. This was essentially blue-red Delver, but I wanted a 1-drop, so we're going to just lightly splash green so that we can have a Nimble Mongoose. But the benefit of playing mostly 2 colors and not the third is that when you keep low land hands, you're just like, okay, well I have blue and red mana, so I'm fine. And I think on the draw against Burn, this hand is passable. It's obviously not exciting because 3 of the cards are pretty bad, but threat, double removal is good enough, I think. Also on the draw, we might just like draw into our land too, which feels awesome. But yeah, no, this is definitely not a teamer deck. It definitely plays. It just plays like a blue-red deck. Like, that's probably the best way of explaining it. Like, it's not teamer, but it's also not blue-red either. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, the college lifestyle is not nice to some people. By some people, I mean all the people. Give us our land, Goblin Guide. Nimble Mongoose. I mean, I love it, but I don't think it's... It's not quite what I asked for. Okay. So I think we're going to just pass here. Okay, so I think we're definitely waiting until after the trigger to shuffle with the Rainforest. Here, we're definitely getting Steam Bends, so we can cast our Delver and our Burst Lightning and stuff. If they cast an Eidolon pre-combat, then of course we don't get the luxury of choice of when to shuffle, but I think we shuffle after the trigger. So that way, we get a land, theoretically, and then we shuffle. Or if we don't, if there isn't a land here, Boros Charm. What is this? What sorcery is this? What is our opponent doing? I had a lot of respect for them, I'm not gonna lie. Sure. I'd understand doing this in response to my fetch, right? But not now. This is just a bizarre time to cast it. Okay, so land? Serum Visions. Okay, well I definitely don't want that. Okay, so let's fetch Shock, Steam Bend, Burst Lightning. We'll keep the Bolt for greater things. With 2 looks, you would have thought we would have seen something off this Goblin Guy, but that's fine. Right, I mean, go with... I don't know. I could definitely, like, trade a ton of my Magic collection away to have them. Yeah, I don't know. That was just a bizarre time to cast it. It was, like, in response to his trigger. Speaking of bizarre things, it is really unfortunate. We've had 3 looks at a land. So that's the number of looks you get from a Serum Visions. And I think that's very reasonable, like on the draw against Burn, to have 3 looks at a land. Okay, if they just cast Lurrus here, we're actually very happy, because then we could just bolt it and then be done with ourselves, but I think we just lose. Like, I don't think we beat them here, especially if they just have Boros Charm, or if they just have all removal, or all burn spells, sorry. Usually a trap, but I think this hand was passable. Right, no, I have 2, but I mean, like, there are definitely hands that are keepable on 1 land. And, like, if I mulligan, I would keep that hand at 6, too. Because if we don't have a hand with removal against Burn, and then we had that Goblin Guide slapping us, we would just lose, right? I mean, oftentimes in this matchup, it's going to look very one-sided, based off of who goes first, right? I don't think there's anything that gets us out of this. I mean, it's possible we come out of this on top. I just don't see that reality as really existing, you know? We'll see. We're gonna go to 1 off of this, get a forest for Nimble Mongoose. We've got Mana Leak for Lurrus. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we cast Mongoose and then bolt their Lurrus. But maybe they don't cast Lurrus this turn, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's rough. Okay, so they're not casting Lurrus here. Which means that they have a burn spell. Which means we're just dead. Okay, so if they're not casting it now, we just don't have a chance, right? Or that means they... Well, if they had nothing, that means they cast Lurrus, right? So we just lose? Okay, well, we have a Spell Snare on top, so maybe this forces their hand. Okay, so Spell Snare hits most of the stuff they have, so we only really lose to Lightning Bolt. Don't fetch to play around Searing Blaze? What do you mean don't fetch or I die? That's a spike, not a dart. Lava Spike. Here, are my cards too small? Or are we talking about something else? Why do I die if I fetch? Because if they had the Blaze, they would have played it on their turn, right? When they had the land drop. So I think I fetch here. Because I have a Spell Snare. Oh, there's a chat delay? Dude, I need to... Oh, yeah, no, don't fetch on his end set. Okay, but I think I definitely fetch Forest, just jam this Mongoose. It's awkward because I'm put in a position here where I can't really cast my spells. The other awkward position that I'm in is, of course, the fact that they have a Lurrus on the horizon. So maybe I don't cast the Mongoose and I just have to hold up Mana Leak. Yeah, whatever. We're just gonna pray for the best. If they have the Boros Charm, they have the Boros Charm. Oh, that's not a Boros Charm. I don't know why they didn't go Lurrus Goblin Guide there. I feel like that's a very good play. 15 seconds. Okay. Maybe I could switch that on, like, my phone or something. Eidolon. Well, this one cannot resolve, right? That one kind of goes without saying. I think we Spell Snare this. But if we're gonna be holding at Mana Leak no matter what anyways, do we fetch Forest, or do we go fetch Island? Because we can Spell Snare this off of an island, right? And then we can bolt them. Because this Nimble Mongoose is not getting Threshold, because we just can't cast our spells, right? We're not casting anything proactively this game, so I think we fetch Island and we Spell Snare this. Island. Okay, so we're going to snare, and we're just going to bolt them, and we are going to pray. We are just going to pray. It's not a stellar play, but I mean, we're not doing anything else. Also, if we manage to scrape the win, like, that's fine, but we're really just going to game 3, so we can be on the play, and actually, like, beat them. If we win this game, it's more of a miracle than anything else. We are... Oh, it didn't even give me the option to shock it. Good job, Magic Online. Good job. Okay, and then we'll have Snap Bolt, Snap Snare up for next turn. So hopefully they go for Lurrus next turn, so we could just Mana Leak it. Okay, now they're dead in... They're dead next turn to Snap Bolt plus Delver attack, right? Huh. Huh. Okay, well, we... Okay, let's remove this 15-second delay though. I mean, do they have the Swift Spear? They have the Swift Spear. I feel like we had to bolt them last turn. That was like our only line. Okay, if they don't cast Lurrus, what are they doing, right? Like, they came here with Lurrus. What do they have in their hand, right? Is that the question? If they don't cast anything, we're casting Snapcaster, in case anybody's curious. But they have to cast Lurrus here, right? Have to. No Spooky Cat for you. Go back to my nightmares. I don't want you here. Oh my god, do we actually win this? There's no way we win this game, right? Wow. Wow. We actually navigated this one. I could have sworn we lost, but that's why you don't just resign. We don't resign. We play virtually flawlessly, I think, and then we just win, right? Yeah, it has to be a land. If it's a bold, they have us. I don't really care. If they have us, right? Make sure we target the right spell. Undefeated. 2020. Let's go. Okay, let's try to remove this delay though. Oh. Slow. Shh. No echo, no echo, no echo. Bad. Okay. Huh. Delay's weird. Is it a Streamlabs setting? Maybe. Okay, well, I'll investigate that later. Let us win another match. It's as easy as that. Fuck. Magic Online, please undisaster yourself. You don't have to disaster everything else with you. And we won the die roll. Easy peasy. Okay, so we've got 3 lands. Very little interaction, but we are on the play with a Delver of Secrets. I think this hand's probably good enough. We could even just go Delver into turn 2 Boom Bust their land, so we'll keep. Definitely leading Steam Vents here, I think. So we'll go to main phase. Pass it back to them. I'm legitimately curious as to what Mark 68 is playing. Mark 68 leads on Forest Grazer. Okay, I'm officially no longer curious about what he's playing. I hate it. I am officially curious as to what Mark 68 is playing again. Oh, what is this? Yeah, let's just pass back to them. Right, but I've never seen Amulet Titan run a tri-land. Swamp Forest Island. For the record, I haven't seen many decks run a tri-land, so that's not really saying a whole lot, I suppose. We'll take a peek. We'll know what they're playing. Looks a lot like Titan. Looks a hell of a lot like Titan. It's fine. I mean, like, it slows them down by a small amount, but when they have stuff like this, it doesn't do a whole lot. Okay. They have 3 cards in hand, so they're probably nabbing this Garen Brig. But let's see what they have. Hydroid Krasis. See, I knew they were on some sort of tank. Okay, yeah, LD is definitely solid here, though. Okay, so let's see what we draw. Fetch? No. Well, when you draw all creatures and no spells, it gets kind of awkward. What? Is anybody else seeing what this Magic Online Shuffler is doing right now? What is my hand? Dude, what is my hand? Yeah, no, I don't know what's up with that. Weird. No, did we... They have a Hydroid Graces in their deck. Titan doesn't run Hydroid Graces, right? Okay, I guess the question is... Well, the question is not, do we not kill this Garen Brig? I think we have to kill it. This also puts an extra land in our yard for mongooses, which we, for some reason, have a hell of a lot of. Unfortunately, that means we don't have double green anymore, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. We need to draw spells. We need to draw anything. We could draw a mana leak for this Krasis, or cantrips, so that our mongooses can get out of... Because all we've drawn is mongooses. We haven't drawn anything. Like, this is like drawing 4 young pyromancers in a row. It's just, you can't win. Okay, then they played their forest for turn. They drew another Garen Brig. Perfect. We could have also blown this up, and then they... Well, no, they'd still have blue. It could be Scape Shift. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just some sort of good stuff ramp deck. We don't know. Card off the top. Probably a Thought Scour. No, but I will take it. The Dryad? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I think we swing with everything here. And we could just bolt the Dryad with a Nimble Mongoose hit. That should be perfect. So they probably go... Oh. Interesting. I don't see them trading here, but we'll see what they do. Yeah. Okay, we get to play a Mongoose, hold up Bolt. This is super tragic. But the thing is if we draw a Thought Scour, then all of these Mongooses come online, right? Because it's 3 plus 3 plus Bolt. And then suddenly we have this lethal force, right? But we haven't drawn Scours, we haven't drawn Serum Visions, we just drew a Lightning Bolt. Like, God bless. Praise the Lord, honestly. It would be super convenient if we had a mana leak for this Hydroid Krasis, but... I think we're just gonna play this out and just figure out what the hell they're playing. But I don't think we beat a 5/5 Krasis. And a Field of the Dead. I don't think we beat that. They block, we'll just trade with it. Sure. There's a possibility we win, but it's just very, very slim. So we know nothing of what they have. They explore, sure. So they're at 3 cards. Sure. Yikes. Okay, now they could do Graveyard again. Okay, well this is just going to be a bad showing for Nibblebog Goose against the main deck Pachuca Bog. Well, they're definitely just trading against these zombies at this point, I think. Okay, so they swing 5. 7. So I think we're double blocking this zombie with the Mongoose. That way his brothers can be closer to coming online. And then I think we'll bolt them. Because they know about the bolt. Alright, so they're going to play around it. Like, we could bolt one of their creatures, but now we're all close to enabling Threshold again. Okay, not quite the top deck I was looking for. I'll hit them for 3. The issue is there's no way in hell we win this race. And they're probably not going to show us anything else, so I think this is just bug big mana. Vesuva's very curious, though. That suggests that they're playing Primeval Titan with, like, the Primeval Titan win, which means they might be running Amulet. I don't know. That's bizarre. Vesuva's just a very curious choice. It's obviously good with Field of the Dead. It's a lot of triggers. Okay, so we're definitely blocking the Steve. So that means we're definitely chumping his... Own up to my sins. I don't... This is a main deck Pachuca Bog. Okay, blocks like this, and then we'll throw a Burst Lightning at a zombie that's attacking me. That way we're not just dead, we go to 2. Which means that we could fetch this Rainforest, go to 1. No win here. Alright, Mark 68. I've got some harsh words for you. They involve flame slashes, disdainful strokes. That's honestly the end of the list. Honestly, I don't really mean too much harm for you, my guy. Spell Snares seems fine, surprisingly, because they're running Explore, but I'm still not super stoked about it. Spell Pierce is probably atrocious. Sure, but... Right, yeah, no, they just drew the bog, that's all. I mean, I'm not, like, complaining, like, oh my god, this is some sort of unfair nonsense. I'm just saying, like, okay, well, they drew their main deck bog, you know? Like, the card's going to be bad against a main deck bog, but there's a lot of cards that are bad against main deck bog, right? Like, the thing is this is a deck that has Nimble Mongoose in it, but it isn't totally reliant on the graveyard either. Like, if they nuke my yard, then my Young Pyromancers and Delvers take over the game. We're running 4 of this card and we haven't seen it like once. Unbelievable. Okay, I would love to play first. Delver, Counterspell, keep. We're leading an island. We want to save this for our Boom Bust. Which we should be casting with a fetch line this game, unlike the other ones. Very curious. If they play the Titan, we lose anyways. That's the difference. If they play the Titan, I don't care what they tutor for, we just lose. If Titan resolves, we do not win. There is very little coming back from that. So, I mean, like, sure, if they tutor for it with Titan, that's one thing, right? But I don't know. I don't even, like, understand the purpose of having a toolbox card. I mean, I guess it's like 0 opportunity cost, right? But otherwise, it's just kind of like a fringe, oh, we draw it. And then, again, 0 opportunity cost, and they just get value off of it, right? Let's go to our turn. We flip our Delver. No, okay. I didn't think we were anyways. It's fine. Hit them for 1. We get to kind of like pseudo-scry for Delver. And then we get to blow up the world. So if they play anything, I don't know, it depends. I don't think we'll mana leak just anything. But like, if we mana leak Steve, blow up their breeding pool, we're in a pretty fine spot, right? Let's do that. Yeah, I mean, like, Tarmogoyf's fine, but again, I don't think he solves this deck's problems, right? Like, why would I be splashing Tarmogoyf in blue-red Delver? Yeah, let's mana leak this Sakura Tribe Elder, and then we'll boom bust their breeding pool, and we should be in a very good spot, especially if Delver flips. If he doesn't, then we'll just have some strong words with him. So he does flip off of another mana leak, which is perfect. So now we get to swing at them for 3. Okay. Now I think we're going to... We'll just get a tapped breeding pool here, I think. And they may go ahead. Enjoy your forest, opponent. Shoot. Just kidding. Ah, it did have a land. Darn. We're probably not cracking this. We could snap mana leak this. Or we could let this resolve and then bolt snap bolt our opponent. Which puts them to 6, and then they take 5 and go to 1. So if they tap this Waterlog Grove, they die. Which is pretty gasoline. Blossom! Oh! Yes. Yes. Good. Good. I think we have to counter this, though. So I think we go snap, leak, 5, they go to 6. Or we just mana leak it, then they go to 8, and then we Bolt Snap Bolt them next turn. Yeah, let's Mana Leak it here. And then we'll just Bolt them directly. This way we get rid of the card they know about, right? Because we revealed this to the Delver. And then we go to our turn. Three. So they go to 5. And they're dead to just this Snap Bolt if they decide to crack this Blast Zone, right? Like, if that's their plan, they lose. And if that's not their plan, then they probably lose as well. It's just overall, like, good vibes, you know? So they play anything that's Spell Snareable, we probably do it. Yeah, so, like, we'll Spell Snare this. And this might force their, like, Panic Blast Zoning, you know? Like, if they pass with mana up, that means that Blast Zone is the plan, right? Okay, so then we can just Snap Bolt them. So we're gonna get in. We're gonna get Steam Dams, fuck it. Perfect. Okay, so let's think about this again. Alright, I've done enough thinking. I think it's good. Bam. We're just gonna mull. Yikes. We're running 19 lands, in case anybody's curious. This is not a greedy build of the deck. This is a very reserved build of Delver. Mostly to compensate for the fact that we occasionally blow up our own lands. That's just a mulligan. This hand's awful, but I'm not going down to 4. So what we keep 2 lands, 3 spells. So keep sure. Alright, opponent. What do you got? Grazer's their best 1-drop here. So if they go sure, okay, so they do have it, obviously. So now they could play Dryad next turn, and then we just kind of lose on the spot. Yeah. Your go, opponent. Because we could have beat the turn 3 Grazer with our Mana Leak, right? Yeah, I think this is just a loss. Oh wait, they only have 1 card in hand. Huh. Never mind, this Dryad does very little. Okay, well this Young Pyromancer is actually going to pull in a lot of work then. This might be winnable yet. Because Grazer is probably the worst card they could have in their hand. They've got virtually nothing. And we drew up. That's really good. So we're definitely just jamming this Young Pyromancer then. Prove yourself. Go. We have Thought Scour Mana Leak next turn. Sure, they've got Blast Zone, but they don't have enough mana to use it. They'll probably top deck a land, obviously, but yeah, if they're spending their turn casting Grazer and not pumping their Blast Zone, that means their Pyromancer could start doing stuff, and they can't kill his token, so we're kind of chilling. They drew Steve, sure. They swing for 2. Ballsy opponent. Ballsy. Sure. They're probably thinking about trading with Steve here if we attack. So we have to be cognizant of that. So let's just pass the turn. I think we're going to just Thought Scour on their end step. And we're going to try to use as many of these spell snares as possible. As humanly possible. Unfortunately, a 2-drop slid under our spells. Okay, so they're at 4 unique lands for Field of the Dead. Sure. So they're a bit of ways. A bit of it. Okay, hopefully they draw a 2-drop here. Or really any spell, to be completely honest. Perfect. That's so good for us. Yeah, let's spell snare this. Oh, this is so good. Yes. Okay. If we draw another spell off this Thought Scour, Gasoline. Okay. Screw you, Mark. Hit him for 1. See if they make a mistake. They should block with the Grazer here. That's the only correct play. What is my opponent doing? Okay, they might just clock themselves. What is going on? Yeah, I don't know what's going on at all. Okay, I'm going to attempt to fix the latency in the meantime, so I'm going to restart the stream real quick, and I will be right back momentarily, I suppose.